Next on our program is Denver Caldwell. Some of you might have known Denver in the past. He's the Director of U.S. and Canada Sales for John Deere, a position that he has held since 2022. He's been with John Deere, however, for much longer than that, starting in 1997, positions in sales and marketing, and previously serving as Director of Aftermarket and Customer Support Sales and Marketing. Denver earned his MBA and BS in Business Administration Management degree with a minor in finance from Oklahoma State University. And I think they played a team I know pretty well over the weekend. So maybe we won't talk about my Cyclones right now. But at any rate, he's a member of the BLF, which is John Deere's Forum for Black Leaders and Managers, and is an executive sponsor for a group that we work with as well, Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences. So please welcome Denver Caldwell. It was good.
All right, so hopefully I do better than my Cowboys did this weekend. So I was asked first and foremost if I wanted to speak behind the podium. I said that might be considered a speech impediment for me. I like to move around. So I'm going to move around a little bit and talk to you a little bit about how our strategy is committed to the customers that we've just talked about literally all day. All the pressures are coming to them. But first and foremost, on behalf of the 78,000 employees, of which I am one and 9 others are here, we bring you greetings from John Deere. We bring you greetings from our CEO all the way down to the folks that run the factory floor for us. So thank you for the opportunity to share this strategy. Thank you for the opportunity to showcase how we're committed to our customers and trying to unlock customer economic value for them with our technology and with the support of our local dealers. We'll talk a little bit about a couple of those very special individuals. A couple of them are in the audience today. We'll start with our customers. These are not just pictures. These are not Getty images. These aren't stock photos. These are living, breathing customers that I've personally either shaken a hand, been on their farm, listened to them talk about some of the challenges they face. And our strategy as a whole starts with them. It starts with the pressures, the plans, and problems that they have on their farm for their families and for their livelihoods. And it's from that perspective that we begin to look at our company and say, how do we best organize ourselves in order to deliver value for them? Even dating back to 1837, John Deere the man was focused on seeing exactly what problems our customers faced and delivering solutions exactly for them. So that's where it starts. It starts with our customers. But then it starts with how we organize our company. Production systems. We've talked about production systems. We talk about them in terms of commodities, but for us, they're production systems. And we've got leadership, a company structure organized around each one of these, whether it's production and precision ag, what we would call small ag and turf. We call it livestock. If you're a producer, we call it livestock and turf. Construction and forestry. We all drove in on roads this morning. We all woke up in a building somewhere, Holiday Inn Express or wherever we were, maybe here in the Marriott. I don't know if they'll banish me for that. But we all woke up somewhere in that construction and forestry space that builds and beautifies the world. From a technology stack perspective, we probably all took some GPS guidance to get here, right? We've probably all been taking notes or passing some information along our desktop applications, Microsoft, OneNote, et cetera. Or maybe we'll transfer some of that in there. We've got a technology stack within the ag space, whether it's guidance, whether it's application, off-board systems like the John Deere Operations Center. We've got an organization that's dedicated to improving that technology delivery mechanism to all of our producers. And likewise, once you invest what some would believe to be a considerable sum in John Deere solutions, we would say It's not really a considerable sum. It is an investment, and I do have a pen, and I am taking orders. There's never been a better time to buy John Deere equipment. But we have a life cycle solutions organization that's dedicated to preserving and enhancing the economic value you have invested in that John Deere piece of equipment. This is how we look at our strategy, from the lens of our customers, the technology that they need to employ to improve their outcomes, and the life cycle solutions that it takes to overall protect the investment that they've made, either in iron solutions or in technology. That's how our business is structured, right here. Now, it's not just enough to look at production systems from a high level, we gotta go a little deeper. And for us, that means production and precision ag, looking across corn and soybeans, small grains, sugarcane or cotton. I didn't see any cotton hands go up, but we do have a lot of cotton in the Boot Heel, Missouri. What we would organize as small ag and turf, it's dairy and livestock, it's high value crops, turf and compact utility products. And again, construction, earth moving, road building, forestry. When we go this deep with our customers, we can better understand the problems they have, the market pressures, the export-import pressures on their output. We can better understand the things that we can do to help them earn a better living, live a better life, and provide a better output into our agricultural industry. That is a good thing. That is a great thing for us. But again, it's not enough to go here. You've got to go one click deeper before you start to understand just how big these problems are. And for us, this started about a decade and a half ago by looking at our customers from a value chain perspective. That means just unlocking, unpacking the whole production ag space, looking at the tillage activity. What are the things going on around tillage? What are the problems? What are the time frames that our customers are doing this work in? Planting and delivering solutions that unlock their capability in that planning window to do more with less, with better outcomes. A good example of this is ExactEmerge technology that unlocked an additional 60% higher speeds, planting at 10 miles an hour with higher accuracy. Spraying, harvest, and what they're doing when they're not in the field, in the operator station, they're managing. They're managing something. Whether it's sharing data with trusted advisors, making plans for their inputs, they're managing something, and they need the data, not just pretty charts and yield maps and et cetera. They need critical operational level data to help improve their financial outcomes. And when we do this work, we have an organization that's set up around each one of these. When we do this work, we find significant value. I'm gonna tell you what that value is in a minute. But it's not just field crops. You gotta be mature enough, if you're an equipment company, you gotta be mature enough to look at your equipment and say, you know, for some customers, it's just not about the equipment. It's about the animal. It's about the cow. It's about the horse. It's about the pig. We've got to understand that providing the nutrients into that animal, that is number one. Making sure that that animal can grow the way I want it to grow, that's number one. Make it easy for me to do the rest of this. So you see things like bale dock, which will locate bales in the field, tell you where the bale came from, and help you analyze what's in that bale. That is technology that we are deploying literally right now that will help our livestock producers deliver a better outcome for themselves and for their operation, for their families. But this is an example of how we look at a dairy and livestock producer. When we look at production, precision ag, dairy and livestock, high-value crops, construction and road building, when we look at all of that together and we go deep with customers, asking them, what are the problems you have in your operation? What are the things you want to do but you can't do? What are the things you have to do but cannot do or you don't want to do today? They tell us there's about $150 billion worth of problems. That's a big number. Is that a big number to y'all? Yes. Thank you for the oral response. That's awesome. That's a big number. We call this incremental addressable market. We don't want all of that. But we want our customers to have the benefit of most of it. And if we solve those problems on their behalf, John Deere and John Deere dealers should capture a little bit of that. We believe that's a fair trade for the kind of problems that we're solving on their behalf. And what I want to do is spend a little bit of time talking to you about what some of those opportunities are. But first, along with that $150 billion, we've set a few goals for ourselves. By 2030, we want to help customers unlock that incremental addressable market. That means improving customer economic outcomes by multiple billions of dollars. How are we going to do this? We're going to do this around the world and through these 3 production systems. First and foremost, production precision ag, the group of products we call small ag and turf, and construction and forestry. Some numbers here at the bottom. 500 million engaged acres globally. Why do we care about engaged acres? Why do we care about having 1.5 million connected machines? How many times have we said the word sustainable today? A lot or a little? A lot. How do we know how much sustainability is delivered? How many acres have cover crops been applied on if we can't track it with data? How do we enable customers to secure input or revenue for their cover crops or carbon sequestration if we don't have some data? This is how it comes in through the John Deere Operations Center and connected machines. Not only that, but we can continue to preserve the economic value in their equipment when it's more connected. We can help our customers avoid tens of thousands of dollars of costly downtime failures, costly in terms of the repair, costly in terms of the time in which that failure happened. We can avoid that. One of our longer term goals here is to have 0 unplanned downtime. That's an opportunity for us. Deliver a fully autonomous battery-powered electric ag tractor. That's a mouthful. Denver, are you going to replace an 8R with a battery-powered tractor? No, okay? Bob, you kind of wondering with me on that. But there are production systems like high-value crops in which labor is even more scarce and autonomy provides a greater output for that customer. And we're on track to deliver just this. I'll show you the autonomous diesel-powered tractor, but a fully autonomous battery-powered electric ag tractor coming down the road. Finally, construction and forestry. We've been doing hybrid electric vehicles in the golf space for 20 years. Anyone play golf or have you been a golf course superintendent? Anyone? I see some players. Who wants oil on your nice green? We've been in this space, hybrid electric vehicles, for 20 years in the golf space. We're putting electricity conversion into our 8R tractors with an eIVT. It's a more efficient conversion of power than hydraulics. We're starting to do that at a higher level. We don't need to go full electric, but we do need to find ways of electrifying various components in that product. So I talked a little bit about electric. Talked a little bit about production systems, from property care and turf all the way up to production precision ag. How are we taking these insights and turning this into a product and solution for customers? Let me give you one. Z370R, introduced, I might add, on the 219th birthday of our founder, John Deere. We have been working in this space for over 10 years. I first sat on a battery-powered lawn tractor in 2012. And for the first time, we've got the economics and the product right that we can commercialize it on behalf of customers. Is it to follow the hype? No. There are customers who really want to avoid all the mixing, all the gas, all the 5-gallon cans. They want to avoid that. There are customers who want to avoid the noise, right? If you get up, if you enjoy lawn care at 7 o'clock in the morning, chances are you've probably taken a phone call from your neighbor wondering what in the world you're doing at this time of a morning, right? We've all been there. You don't have to raise your hand. This is the opportunity we have to serve that customer. And we will continue to expand out this portfolio. But that's one way we're delivering on leaps is by expanding this battery and battery electric portfolio within Deere. Still more importantly, and closer to where we live, is See and Spray. By show of hands, has anyone heard of See and Spray? Cool. Miles, it's working. So this is our first commercially available Sense and Act technology. And what you're seeing is, you're seeing a 1,200-gallon tank sprayer, 120-foot carbon fiber boom with boom track. It's a highly stable environment that's able to sense weeds in a green-on-green environment, in crop, or a green-on-brown environment, in fallow, in corn, soybeans, and cotton, 15-inch rows, and do that up to 15 miles an hour. That's outstanding capability for our producers, made possible by an investment made 6 years ago in Blue River Technologies. And this is commercially available to customers today. And what's exciting about this is that the acreage, if we just considered Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri today, if we considered the acres sprayed today, this year, the savings we've been able to demonstrate with our customers this year would say that of those 4 states, we would have reduced the chemistry application by 2 states. That is what our producers are looking for from us. Clean fields, high yields. I just made that up on the drive down this morning. Clean fields and high yields, that's what we're looking for, all right? Now, you may have heard of something else that we're doing as well to deliver this technology, because there's only a handful of customers that could really afford the full economics of what we call See and Spray Ultimate. But if we do this right, we can apply this technology where it needs to be applied, and that's across more acres than just the customers that could afford the technology coming straight out of the factory. But to do that, we've got to do it through a new delivery method, and that delivery method we call Solutions as a Service. Why are we excited about Solutions as a Service? Sounds like another a 4-letter acronym instead of a 3-letter acronym, but why are you excited about SaaS, John Deere? First and foremost, it's at the bottom right. Few times in our history do we ever get a chance to line up incentives as perfectly as we do with this. There are some expenses of going to that carbon fiber boom, yes, but there are expenses associated with the software that line up the savings that a customer gets with the revenue that John Deere gets. If the customer doesn't see value, guess what? Next time they probably won't buy from us, right? That's lining up the incentives between what the customer needs and our future business. Aligning incentives and deepening relationships. This isn't just about a transaction. This is about our ability to get into the operational decisions with customers, with their trusted advisors, and demonstrate savings and adjust decisions on the go on a weekly, daily, weekly, monthly basis throughout the growing season. Pay only for what your operation needs. No, this is not a Liberty Mutual commercial. This is a real scenario in which we've got customers that can go out and buy whatever. If they want to buy 20,000 acres of this, they could. But at the end of that, at the end of the season, if we have a crop failure in West Texas, as they're wont to have from time to time, If we've got a crop failure, what happens to all those licensed units that customer bought? Are they worth more or less? Worth less. So when you pay only for what you need, you get exactly what you need and you don't overburden yourself with things that you can't turn into cost savings for your operation. You pay for what you need, you use that, and you keep going. Lower upfront costs, we already talked about that, and it gets better over time. These are artificial intelligence machine learning platforms. And through sharing of data, customers that will share data with us, we will make the engine smarter. And when the engine gets smarter, it recognizes more plants. It recognizes them faster, thereby allowing that machine to go faster over time. This year, we went from 12 to 15 miles an hour. Right? There's a lot of things going on here, but this solutions as a service model of delivery is very key to us being able to share this technology across more acres. Let me give you another example of this. Autonomous tillage. So we've had now for 2 seasons, we've had fall tillage, spring tillage with this technology. 2660 VT and 2430 chisel plow. Anyone ever get any diesel therapy in the fall? I get a little diesel therapy. That's good. But if you're a farmer and you've got to source labor and you've got to go get H-2A visas for your labor, would you rather visit the attorney to get your H-2A visa done, or would you rather consult your John Deere Operations Center mobile app to control this? Our producers are telling us, I'd rather this opportunity right here. I'd rather control multiple vehicles in the field, in the fall, in the spring, with my phone than consulting the legal aspect of bringing people into the country. I can count on this. I can count on them too, but they're costlier. We all talked about the challenges in the marketplace from the presence of the market factors and forces that have been on display and in discussion here today. They're all landing on this producer's shoulders. So we've got to help them out. Let's go one more. ExactShot. ExactShot was introduced. How many of you have heard of this? All right, fewer hands, that's okay. ExactShot was introduced at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas in January of 23. This is a transformative technology that takes advantage of the precision of the ExactEmerge row unit. We're shooting 6 seeds a second. Try saying that fast, Sarah. 6 seeds a second. And we're going to dose each one of those seeds with starter fertilizer. Now, while that momentary pause doesn't seem like much, when you spread that out over a whole field, you can save a producer as much as 40% of their nitrogen savings, or nitrogen spend, 40% savings. Those are the kinds of things that our producers are telling us in that incremental addressable market. Those are problems they want solved. You know what else this helps with? Tendering. If you're planting, do you want to be jacking around with starter fertilizer? No, I want to put as much fertilizer in the tank, use it where I need to use it, and I want to go as hard as I can go. This enables them to do that. And it improves that customer's nitrogen use efficiency. Those are the kinds of technologies we believe will unlock that incremental addressable market for our producers. That's why we're organized the way we are, and that's why our strategy is focused on our customers. I'm not selling Ginsu knives, but wait, there's more. It's not just enough to deliver the technology. We all heard it. The pressure has never been greater on our producers. So how about thinking about, John Deere, how much of that technology base can you spread across your installed base? You've got a huge installed base, John Deere. Why don't you make it more available to people instead of just relying on the new technology coming out of the factory? And I'd tell you we need to do both. And precision upgrades is just that strategy from us to say, hey, that autonomous tillage tractor you saw there, there's not a lot special about that tractor. Any one of thousands of them built and shipped since 2020 is going to be capable of adopting this autonomous tillage solution, or even broader applications as they're developed. See and Spray. Yes, See and Spray Ultimate is a from the factory solution, but See and Spray Premium, which is a single solution technology, would be available for thousands of sprayers in a 120-foot boom configuration that have been built over the last 6 years. So we're making this technology available to customers that have sprayers and have tractors and have planters that are 6 to 15 years old and may not have the economics to buy something new out of the factory, but they can surely afford this. That's an exciting part of our strategy. Those are the kinds of capabilities that John Deere and our John Deere dealers are investing in. We want to make this technology available to far more customers than what we could with these solutions coming straight out of the factory. They're going to be good coming out of the factory, but they can be just as good in the installed base. Now, that's a lot of technology. We've been talking about edge computing. We've been talking about machine learning. We've been talking about installation of precision upgrades. It'll take 60 hours. We've talked about a lot of things, covered a lot of ground. Would you agree with me? How's this going to get delivered? John Deere, you got like 100 locations across the U.S. and Canada. How are you going to make this relevant to the producer in Miami County? How are you going to make that relevant? Well, let me back up. I got ahead of myself. I talked about production systems. I talked about tech stack, talked about life cycle solutions. We are investing across our strategy to make these things happen. You're looking at over $1 billion of acquisitions over the last 10 years. Whether it's Hagee or Kreisel from a battery-powered standpoint, Blue River, that's the Sense and Act, Harvest Profit for our customers to get that information into the John Deere Operations Center and see what the financial impact of various decisions might be. We want them to do that. We don't need to develop it. 200 other developers can work with us in the John Deere Operations Center. Harvest Profit just is one of the best ways of deducing all of that information, all that data down to a financial aspect of their business. Bear Flag Robotics Automation, SurePoint Ag, an Atwood, Kansas company. There you go. I don't know where it was, but I heard the passion. AgriSync, Casey Neiman, a K-State grad. These are all critical parts of our strategy. Now, I'm going to resume my sales pitch on my dealer organization. We can't do this without the dealer. None of this happens. None of the technology we talked about happens and is made real for the customer without a world-class dealer organization. And we've got two of the best here. We've got Daryl Pankratz. You can raise your hand. This is the first time I've ever seen Daryl shy. But seriously speaking, Daryl's the chairman of AgriVision Equipment and Prairie Land Partners in central Kansas and western Iowa. We've got Ken Wagner and Jeremy Knuth. Ken's the chairman. Ken's bold. Ken's the chairman. He's kind of recently retired a little bit. But, over the last 25 years, Ken's built a heck of an organization here in eastern Kansas and southwest Missouri. And we're thankful to both of these fine men here for the organizations they built. I'll tell you why in a second. But our dealer organization is increasing in their capability to deliver on these technologies. First, to demonstrate them to customers. This is not the drop off the tractor, drop off the combine, use it for 100 acres and tell us what you think. This is an integrated, ROI calculator-driven, operational decision-driven kind of model that we have. Machine health is something our dealers are investing in as well. When we think about the fact that a machine can call into a dealer and tell the dealer what's going on with it, the dealer's got to have someone there to catch that information and do something with it. They've got to be able to answer the call, to roll wheels, to get in front of a customer day or night. Right now, it's harvest time, it's go time. They've got people all over the place, thousands of dollars in training they've put in place to drive these capabilities to fruition. You could order something on shop.deere.com and you can go to a locker, key in a code, and get that from them whenever you want to. Ken's been working on that in his operation for a couple of years now. Those are the kinds of capabilities that we're not accustomed to hearing about, to seeing from John Deere dealers, but that's where we're going. And that's why we believe in this bright future ahead of us. Our John Deere dealers are investing significantly in rural America. 4 states, about 250 locations. Tens of thousands of employee households, members of those households. Nearly $1 billion in employees' salaries in these 250 locations. Tens of millions of dollars in training programs and facilities. If you've got kids, if you've got relatives that would love to have a career in agriculture but want something high-tech, this is the place. There is nothing that I talked about in the last 20 minutes that is more than 24 months out from commercialization. It's real, it's here, it's right now, and our dealers, like Ken, like Daryl, are investing in the facilities, the training that it takes to make this set of solutions real for customers. So we can't do it without them. So we are partnered together to increase customer productivity on the raw, hard iron. We're not forgetting about hard iron. We love iron. I mean, we have to restrain ourselves from talking about hard iron, but we do. We love it. We've also got to do it with technology. We've also got to do it in such a way that it makes it easy for our customers to interact with that technology and interact with the iron and do so in a way that maximizes their overall uptime and maximizes their investment. Can't run the same rabbit trails of sales. We got to see more customers. We've got to deliver more value to more customers, and that takes a significant investment on the part of that John Deere dealer. And that's why we believe in them, and even some external analysts have said that the enduring component of John Deere's competitive advantage is this world-class dealer network. So with that, I'm going to give you one final set of words from a customer. You can trust me, but you can trust him a little bit more.
I'm Travis Center. I'm a third-generation farmer from Kaiser, Arkansas. I grow cotton, corn, rice, and soybeans. Farming is a lot of hours. It's a lot of work. It's extremely more complex than when my father or my grandfather were running the farm. Every single day of the year I have something to do. And during planting and harvest, we'll work 16, 18-hour days until the job's done. You've got to do more with less these days. Deere's technology allows us to maximize every part of it. Everything from self-driving and automation to data and connectivity allows us to be more productive and efficient and save time and spend more time with our family. When we first started using GPS 20 years ago, it allowed you to drive straight, hands off the wheel. You can check markets, you can check weather. Automation and the sensors that are on the machines today make a lot of small changes that make a big impact. Machines allow us to put the seed exactly where it needs to go and to spray exactly where it needs to spray. Every machine is connected, everything is uploading data to the cloud. I have access to it whenever I want, no matter if I'm in the cab, the field, or a meeting, or away from the farm. 20 years of data collection has allowed us to look at past decisions and how that impacts the future. Cloud technology is very important. It allows me to actually analyze the data versus collect the data. And so I can use my phone to see every machine, to see every operation, and to use that information to make real-time adjustments. Deere's technology allows me to work faster, be more precise, and be more efficient. What I can accomplish in an hour that would have took my grandfather 2 or 3 days to do. I couldn't imagine farming without technology. It's critical in nearly every aspect that I do. Technology has changed farming, and it's changed my life.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Denver. And I know we're about done with everything, but I do have one question
Okay, go
for
for
you.
it.
And that is, as you move to more autonomous and also to more electric, what's the infrastructure going to look like in your vision for plugging in these bigger vehicles?
So the infrastructure we see it across 3 stages, right? So the first stage, what you saw in the Z370R, that infrastructure are things that we all have in our homes. The outlet, the 120 outlet, right? We can plug that in and get going. We see the second stage as being a stage that largely we all have in our homes. We may have to reconfigure some of the plug-in infrastructure to make that work, but that's not going to require a lot of infrastructure development. The third stage, the things that we'll see around electric backhoes and skid steers and the larger things, so that's going to take some infrastructure to make sure we've got the proper plumbing into whatever venue it is, if it's a dealer or if it's a farm operation. We've got to make sure we've got the right current into each one of those locations. So as you think about the breadth of electric automobiles, battery-powered automobiles, and you think about the amount of investment we're seeing in a variety of electric companies, there's probably more requirements coming to make sure we've got the supply of power, clean power, and you've got it plumbed into the housing unit, the business unit that you're serving. So it's probably not so much a 24, 25, but it's a 26 to 30 horizon that we got to make those investments.
Great. Well, exciting times ahead. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very
Please
much.